it must be so beautiful being able to do this journey with your brother, like together.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't be at this level without training with him. I'm not even sure I would be freestyling still.
Are you guys a team also when you're on stage?
We like to say that we are a team as long as we're not battling each other. We have invented this rule that if I invent a trick, yeah, then Alan can't use it in a competition before I have used it.
Hi, my name is Bailey de Recht and you're listening to the FRØST podcast. In this season, we're going worldwide. Every episode, an international guest will share their freestyle journey with you. Today, we're making it around the world with Brynjar Fagerli. Thank you so much for joining. Was it the right pronunciation or?
It was pretty much the right pronunciation, yeah.
Yeah, so we had Erlend, now we have you. What's it like being at SuperBall?
Well, it's great to be here again after like 2 years. So it's great to see all the freestylers again and also competing, of course.
Yeah.
We haven't been in a physical competition in over a year, like 1.5 years, I think. So it's something else to do it live.
How does that feel? Because, of course, because of COVID, you also haven't been able to. Yeah, you had the Red Bull Street Style, of course,
yeah,
which was online. How does that differ from a real life event?
It was a good source of motivation when we didn't have anything else to compete at, but performing in the actual competition felt quite weird actually, because we just had to perform to a camera and a screen, and it didn't feel like an actual world championship.
No.
So it was a bit challenging to put your best self on, and you don't get hyped up by any audience or anything. So
was it maybe less nerve-wracking?
Yeah, in a way it wasn't, because yeah, there were no audience there, like I said, and also we could do it the place we wanted to do it. So we had it in a local hall that we train in. So the conditions were very optimal, but still we could use an audience that cheered us up.
Yeah, yeah. We also talked about this with your brother, with Erlend, because we said, okay, yeah, you train in a certain environment, but then you go to the competition and everything is different. Everything is the food, the sleep you get so many stimuli from what's happening around you. You have a crowd, you have an MC, judges. Like, how do you deal with that? How do you feel comfortable on such a moment, you know?
Yeah, you mean like in a live competition now?
Yeah.
Well, we try to be prepared as much as possible. We plan very good ahead of the competition, so we have a plan for how we're going to eat during the week, and especially on the competition day, so we don't crash or anything like that. And also we focus on getting enough sleep and not to waste too much energy on things like walking to a mall 2 kilometers away or something like that.
So you haven't been in the city center of Prague, for example?
No, we haven't. We have been almost inside the whole time, and although that sounds very boring, I think it's the best for performance for us. So we don't waste too much energy. No,
and so you also mentioned you have a food schedule, or you have planned the nutrition you have.
Yeah, we haven't really planned detailed what we will eat and stuff like that, but we try to keep it decently healthy with enough carbs and proteins during the week, and we have also brought some food from back home, just to have some food that we are used to.
And what's the food that you bring, for example?
We have brought 2 homemade breads.
Homemade.
Yeah, actually, it was Alan who baked it.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I brought some cereal and what is it called? Like the thing you make porridge of.
Yeah.
But we just
oats?
eat it. Yeah, oats of course.
Yeah.
So I brought some of that. So we have some food that we are familiar with.
I have exactly the same. You know, the nuts and the seeds. I'm always worried that they don't have it in a certain place, because I put it in my. Yeah, normally I also have oats.
Yeah.
But then here they have porridge in the hotel. Have you tried it already?
No, I didn't, but I saw it was there. I think I will try it tomorrow.
Yeah, I think it's quite similar to what I'm used to at home. But then I saw, because this hotel is huge, they have a lot of seats, and so I'm covered there. But I do have some date bars with nuts and stuff, you know. So, but it's nice that you're also getting here prepared, and that you, because like I said, the circumstances are so different. You want to make it as similar as possible.
Yeah, and that also makes you more confident, I think. So, for instance, we plan also the journey part, so we know what to expect on every part of the journey to the competition. Yeah, just being prepared for every sensation the body will go through as much as possible.
And what do you mean exactly with the travel part?
Yes, just all the simple things that will happen during the journey. It's not really complicated to have like 2 flights, but still we had to get a negative COVID test and you know, have all the documents ready and just be all very strict about and planning the whole journey. So we know that nothing unexpected will happen.
And with planning, do you mean also maybe visualizing? So
yeah, some of that. Yeah, we try to go through the journey before we start it. So, but going to Prague is not really that complicated. We have done it like 8 times now, so,
you know
so we know what to do. But maybe that's more appropriate when we're going to new places.
Yeah.
So we are as prepared as we can, not just freestyle-wise, but also every other aspect.
Cool. And the visualization part I also really like. Is it something you do, for example, for the food and for the travel, but do you also incorporate it into your freestyle? So do you imagine being on stage and
I try to do it a great deal, but maybe I should do it more. So it's definitely a part of our preparations. Maybe one thing we focus even more on is trying to incorporate more realistic training, or like competition training, which we have talked about many times before, like just having sessions where we battle each other. So we try to make it as realistic as possible. So we can just put on a YouTube battle on speakers, and then we will try to feel that we are on the stage.
Yeah, and for the whole time you've been talking in the sense of we. And do you really feel like that? Are you guys a team also when you're on stage, or are you sometimes also? Yeah,
we like to say that we are a team as long as we're not battling each other. So we try to do the best for each other right up until we meet in a battle, and then it's about who will win. Like I want to win and he wants to win. So.
And does that mean, by the way, are you always training together or?
Not always, but we try to do it as much as possible, because we think the quality of the session usually increases then. So I would say like 70% of the sessions or something.
Yeah, and then if you guys are training together, does it mean that you show each other everything and you show your 100%, or in those 30% of the meetings or 30% of the trainings you do all the hard work?
Yeah, no, we are not hiding anything from each other actually, but so we have invented this rule that if I invent a trick, then Erlend can't use it in a competition before I have used it. So that's a rule that we both know about. So
you know about it, but you also do it?
Yeah, we do it. So
Okay, cool.
I'm not allowed to do a trick that Erlend has invented before he has showed it. So because the value of the trick drastically decreases after it has been shown the first time.
But it must be so beautiful being able to do this journey with your brother, like together.
For sure it is.
How does that feel?
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't be at this level without training with him. I'm not even sure I would be freestyling still, because I especially have felt it the last couple of years now that if I have been only training by myself, I would be really struggling to keep motivated. So in times that I'm away from Erlend and I'm only training by myself, I need to dig a bit deeper to be motivated.
Yeah,
it is because it's much more enjoyable to have someone that's on your same level, and he can give me feedback continuously, and I can give him feedback, and just that.
Is that maybe also the reason why you guys are so good? Because it's maybe you don't train way more than other freestylers, because there are freestylers who are training 5 to 6 hours a day without rest days. So would you say that the quantity of the training is not as important as the feedback you get from your brother?
Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting question to know how our level would be if we just train by ourselves.
Yeah.
We will never find out that, but we have also lived separately. Like for 2 years, we didn't train together almost. So we still managed to have a lot of progression during that time. So I think that just the training you put in is the most important. But also if you're able to really reflect upon your own freestyle continuously and don't just train on autopilot, I think you can have a very big advantage there.
Yeah, that can be, or for me it can be a difficult thing. If you lose kind of the motivation, and you still go to training, so you still want to make those 2 or 3 hours a day, but it's not really productive.
No.
Do you know that feeling?
Of course, yeah. Yeah. I have more of those sessions when I'm training alone, so that's the disadvantage with training alone for me. So I'm more focused when I'm training with Erlend. So.
And if Erlend's not around, and you realize that you're getting to that autopilot, you know, is there something you can do to prevent that from happening, or is it just?
Yeah, it depends. If I feel really tired that day and like exhausted, I will not be having too high expectations of myself. I don't punish myself for not being focused. I still think a session in autopilot is better than nothing. So
yeah.
I'll just give myself a bit slack there and just go through the motions, and that will be good enough for that day. It's still better than not training, I think. So.
Yeah.
But I try to push myself to focus harder, of course, too.
Yeah. And during those sessions where you're on autopilot, is it also that you don't enjoy your trainings as much?
Yeah.
It's a rhetorical question, but
yeah, it's yeah, I don't know. It's when I don't feel that good, I don't really enjoy the session anyways, if I focus or not. It's just that it's just more difficult to focus. So yeah, I don't know what to say.
A difficult
really.
question, yeah. And maybe there is no answer to it, and
but sometimes it happens that I'm training alone, and maybe some people suddenly enter like the room, and I know that they are watching me, and then I get like this spike of motivation because I want to impress them.
Yeah.
So then I can see that okay, I'm actually able to focus if I just get a bit more.
Yeah.
Like.
And you also get the spike when you're on stage. Does it also boost you, or does it make you feel not so well?
Well, that varies a lot to me. Sometimes I can get like really shaky and not feel comfortable, and then I can really underperform. But then again, if I'm really into the competition and feel relaxed, I can perform better than I'm usually doing at trainings too.
Yeah.
So I wish it was more constant to me. I've had too many competitions where I underperform, and that's
because of this.
Very frustrating. Yeah, because I'm just stressed out or don't really feel comfortable on stage. I might feel comfortable on the warm-up, but then I enter the stage and it's like a different thing. But yeah, I wouldn't say that I'm bad at performing under pressure either. It's just, it varies a lot to me. I think Erlend is more stable there.
And you haven't found the cause of it maybe yet, or?
I found some causes of it. It depends who I'm battling, of course. If I meet someone I know I'm better than, I know I can respond to him on every aspect, basically. I'm usually performing quite well. Yeah. And also I feel usually more and more comfortable throughout the competition. So if I'm in the top 16 of a battle, usually I'm the worst in the top 16, and then I get better, or at least it feels like that often. So, but it also varies there. So you can find counterexamples of that. It also depends how prepared I am for that specific battle. Sometimes I have planned very much a specific battle, and those battles I usually do very well. Okay. Like last year when I battled Erlend in the Norwegian champs. Yeah. In the final, that final was really prepared for me, so I managed to beat him. Yeah, because you had maybe a few years, you had already known Erlend, of course, you know the tricks.
you probably knew you were going to battle him. But now, for example, tomorrow we're battling in top 32. You don't know your opponent yet.
No.
Does that feel difficult?
Not really. I think I know who I'm meeting to. So and the level this year in top 32 isn't that high. So I'm not really that concerned.
That's true. Thank you, by the way. I'm in top 32 because of.
Sorry.
No problem, no problem, bro.
But you know, it's like 2018, 2019. I almost went out in top 32, and 2017 I did lose in the top 32.
Yeah.
So against Luki.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, I remember.
So it is a bit different this year, but yeah.
I remember the battle versus Luki, but I also remember when you did the J style and you, wow, out of nowhere, the toe touches, you know?
Yeah, I had to do it.
I think that's something where not most people know you from, but you made, it's something that if you think of Brynjar, you think of that, or at least that's what I think of that. How did you come up with that concept, or just any new trick in general? How do you come up with new ideas? And
yeah, that also varies, but I try to think a lot about creating new tricks, especially during off season. We allocate a lot of time to just thinking in new ways, thinking outside the box, and that usually is in the way of before every session we have like 10 minutes before we start the warm-up to just think, like sit down and think in any new way we can think about. So when you do that every day, you can usually have some good ideas. Yeah.
Do you think that's maybe a lot of freestylers are struggling with, or that's something that they forget? Because if I take a look at many freestylers, they take their ball, start juggling, and immediately volley around the world, something like that, you know?
Yeah.
And they haven't taken the time to think, okay, what am I going to do in this session, or what new tricks can we?
Yeah, if people want to do really well in competitions, I think a lot of people could learn from just being more reflective of their freestyle and try to just sit down and think, like, how can I make my freestyle better?
Yeah.
What does the judges really want to see? Do they want to see like tricks that have already been done?
Yeah.
Or do they want to see new tricks with your original style? Or do they want to see like consistency? Or do they, you know?
Yeah.
So
you take that into account as well.
Yeah, I try to think about like the criteria that we are supposed to perform on. Yeah. Not just focusing on originality, but also execution, like, and difficulty, and the whole thing.
Yeah, yeah. And talking about like original style, your own style, how have you managed to come up with your own style? Because of course with new shit Alto Mituzani, you have some unique concepts, you know, that you are mastering. Also the knee style, and then the knee style, I would say, like.
Yeah. True knee style. I don't know what it's called.
True knee style, yeah.
I don't know what it's called, but I call it that. Well, it often takes time to develop your own style, and for freestylers just starting out, it can be very difficult to have your own style because you have to start somewhere, and usually you start by learning tricks that other people have done before you. And after a while, you can maybe start exploring new concepts, and so it's easier for me and, for instance, Erlend, to create new things because we have a really good base level. Yeah. So we can really manage to do new tricks more easily. Yeah.
So let's say I'm struggling with finding new concepts in uppers. Yeah. Could it maybe help to get the basics going, you know, and then I can focus on creating new
definitely things? I think so, because if there are freestylers that have a lot of great ideas, but they're simply not able to do it because their level isn't high enough.
Well, I have all these ideas that I cannot perform yet because of my level, maybe.
And I think it's very fascinating to watch Erlend, especially because he can have a new idea and then he does it like 5 minutes later, like consistently, and that's almost frustrating to see. But it's like
you don't have that.
I can also have it, but I think Erlend is more maybe talented in that respect, because he has this really good control over the ball, and he has such a big repertoire of tricks. So if he just tweaks some tricks, he can usually do it quite fast.
Yeah, and you say it's frustrating to see. I can imagine, because Erlend has won 5 world champs now, and you have won 1 European champ, which is also insane. You won, by the way, of Erlend in the final. How did that feel?
Yeah, that was really a good feeling. And I hope to beat him again in a huge competition. So now I won against him in the European champs, and Norwegian champs, and Scandinavian champs. So now I'm just missing the world champs. So let's see.
He knows you're hungry as well, right?
Sorry?
He must know that you're hungry as well to win this one.
Of course he does.
Are you sharing a room?
Here?
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
But no bad feelings up until you're battling, so.
No, it's all fine.
But what does it feel like to have a brother who is the best, and you're like also the best, but Erlend usually takes the win, you know?
Yeah. No.
Has been
usually
taking the lead, but now you're also.
Yeah, he has performed better than me in competitions, of course. And I don't know. I'm really happy for him when he does so well, and it's not about that. It's just I hope that I can also do better as well. I just get disappointed by myself if I lose like in the top 8 or top 16 or stuff like that. But then I'm really happy if he wins. If I lose in the top 16 or top 8 or something, and he wins, I'm super happy. So it's no bad feelings there. No.
So of course you want yourself to win, but if someone else has to win, then
it's him. It's still in the Fagerlibros, you know. And that helps me.
True. Nice. All right. How are you feeling for tomorrow, for Saturday?
I'm feeling good. I feel the energy is good, and I'm very prepared. So I just hope my shape is the way it should be on Saturday. At least.
What are the final touches? We're a few days before the final. What are things you do or to get in the mood?
Well, I'm trying to prepare the specific battles, so I have something to I have something in my mind, but then I will maybe improvise a bit in the battle. But otherwise, during the preparations, we try to have a few sessions and also just rest enough. And what else do we do? A bit visualization. Yeah.
Maybe stretching or.
Yeah, we don't really stretch that much. No. That's something people think is a bit surprising, that we don't stretch that much. We have found out that we don't really need it, but it might have been an advantage to do it anyway. I don't know. We're just quite pragmatic about our training, and we just tested. We were stretching up until like 2 years ago.
Yes.
Like after every session.
Okay.
But then we just said to each other, like, what happens if we stop stretching and just train freestyle instead?
And nothing happened.
And nothing happened. We didn't feel sore, or we didn't really notice any difference. So we just stopped.
You left it out.
So I wouldn't say that that's a good tip to stop stretching.
It works differently for everyone, of course.
Yeah, it does. And some people get injured if they don't stretch. And so like I said, we have a very pragmatic approach. If I'm feeling pains in my back, maybe I will do some stretching in my back. But
so stretching hasn't really been a benefit for you, or hasn't?
It hasn't been a focus for us, at least. No. So we have rather focused on just training specifically with the ball and mastering as many tricks as possible.
So that's really the focus, and just always with the ball.
Yeah, just as much time as possible with the ball, and then we the thinking part also. Before the training, I think that's also an important one you mentioned. It for sure is. There has been like times where I will have such a great idea, and I feel like I have earned like 2 weeks of training, but just by coming up with, with this idea.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
I also have the same. Sometimes if I didn't plan to go train, for example, and then I still had a session and I didn't really have any high expectations, you know. So I just started thinking and I started jamming a bit, and then an idea popped up, and I was so happy with that, because
and it can be worth like 2 weeks with the training without thinking. So it can really help your freestyle a lot.
Maybe that's the secret why you guys are so.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe so. You can try it out.
Yeah.
And, yeah. Is there anything else that you want to, I don't know, advise any young freestylers listening, or people who want to reach your level, or?
Yeah, I don't know, but like I said earlier in the conversation, I think it's so important to emphasize that think about what the judges want to see if you want to do well in competitions. Because if you don't, what's the word? If you're like everyone else, then you're not gonna stand out in the like when there are hundreds of freestylers competing, and so standing out in some way doesn't really have to be something very spectacular either. Just mixing up your style a bit here and there, that can help so much. Okay, so can you give me one advice, because luckily this podcast episode is going to be released after we have battled. Right. And so tomorrow I'm in top 32. And I'm still a bit in doubt. Okay, I'm battling this, I think Horvin, probably Horvin. Oh, okay. Lower freestyler, really strong also in the J-style. He outperforms my lowers. Would you advise me to get a different entry? So enter with I don't know, with energy and flow, or would you say, and so also maybe convince the judges and have them say, okay, he's something different, or would you just regular start, lowers, or? Who's ranked higher? I'm ranked higher. So you decide who's starting? I decide who's starting. Do you want to start or not? What would you say? If he does lowers, if he starts, if it's the high, then you maybe shouldn't reply with the lowers if you're not, if that's not your best style. So. It's hard to say. Hard to say. I would maybe try to start with something you're really comfortable with, and just get a good momentum in the battle. Yes. So that you can get some confidence right away. Let's do that. And start with your specialities. Okay, I'll do that. I'll do that. Yeah. All right. Do you need some advice for your battles? Sure. Me, or? Do you want to give me some advice? I would really like it. What questions do you have? Sorry? What questions do you have? You must have some questions and insecurities as well about your freestyle, right? Of course. So I'm always like wondering if I should start with lowers or not. That's like the always a dilemma. Well, and then I'm gonna ask the same question to you, like who are you battling? Who you think you're battling? I know who I'm battling, but I don't remember his name right now, and I'm sorry for that to him. But yeah, I think it's. I think I'll start with lowers. Yeah. And I think I'm better than him in every aspect, basically. So it doesn't really matter what I start with. No. Okay. Yeah. But I think I will let him start, so I will see what he does, and then maybe I will reply if there's something I can do better than him. And if you think you cannot do something better than him, then you'll take something else to. Yeah, I think so. I don't think it's worth responding to an opponent that you're better than. Like if I meet someone that does like a PATV combo, but I'm way better than him, I will not take the risk and try to respond with a PATV combo. I don't have to do that. Then you're confident in yourself that you'll get him on the other aspects. Yeah, because if I don't land the PATV, then I have in some way lost already. And that's not good for my confidence. No. All right. Okay. Okay. I think it's starting to settle down. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Thank you so much, and I wish you good luck on Thursday, Saturday. Thank you. Likewise. Yeah. Maybe we'll meet in the maybe final day. Yeah. Hope so. It would be cool. Thanks. And we're done. Thank you so much for listening. Hopefully you've enjoyed it.
Let me know what you think of this episode. You can always send me a message. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. See you soon. Bye bye.